Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of September 9th through the 15th of 2024. Alright, so this week we are in a manifestation week for the lunar month. We had a new moon around this time last week, and so it is definitely a time of challenging ourselves to incorporate any of these new beginnings. And we do tend to notice a lot of things starting to manifest and really become concretized in the lunar month during these first quarter moons. So the first quarter moon will be on Tuesday specifically, but this whole early part of the week is really good for that implementation. Now Thursday we do have the sun squaring up to expansive Jupiter, so Thursday may be a good day for expanding our horizons. This could be mentally or literally. Sometimes a bit of an over-under extreme with the squares to Jupiter, maybe feeling a bit over-optimistic, then maybe not as optimistic. So good to ground it constructively, making sure we do have constructive expansion, constructive opportunities, and this can make it actually a very constructive time to implement anything we're open-minded about or feeling adventurous about. So that's it for the middle part of the week. When we do get to the weekend, the sun will shift into improvement-oriented Virgo for now Virgo season. So for the coming weeks, probably starting more so next week, getting into that improvement-oriented, detail-oriented, fixing, getting into that probably routines and personal development would be great for these upcoming really over the next not only weeks but the month plus. And also on Sunday Venus will be trining Jupiter, so then here maybe noticing a little bit of enjoyment with relationships, maybe with some of our values. That could be again expansive in that sort of Jupiterian sort of way. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, September 9th. And as you can see here, we are using the actual size of the constellations, which vary in size. You can see, for example, Cancer is very small compared to Leo. This is how they are visually, and it does change the sign placements from mainstream astrology, including other forms of sidereal. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information on using the visible sky called True Sidereal Astrology. All right, so we have, let's see, a little bit of a recap here. We have the sun finishing Leo, Mercury also in Leo because of his retrograde. Really dragged that one out. And yeah, so it's really still this week a time of focusing on what we love and our self-expression. Leo the Lion has been the season to cultivate our hearts, the things and people close to our hearts. And so that's still the case this week, and still to be, expressing this, focused on this, with Mercury thinking about it, maybe communicating in this way, and doing kind of more practical life things in a way that is more heart-centered. Venus is definitely well set in Virgo now, to be joined by the sun later in the week. So good to be enjoying the improvement-oriented energies. Now this isn't the easiest placement, so when it comes to our enjoyments in general and relationships in general, they might be a bit challenged right now, simply because we don't want to be improving when we're enjoying things, generally speaking. And with relationships, they don't want to be really focused on what's wrong and what needs to be improved either. So, but doing this constructively, right? Seeing the value of refinement, the value of improvement, and striving towards a physical perfection, which is really just the things we have control over, really just ourselves. And in this way, it can be, of course, a very constructive transit with Venus here. All right, and then Mars now well set in Gemini, so, or at least getting closer to Gemini with his slow movement. So really good to see that when it comes to our actions and our drives, there's a lot more synergy going on. So it's a great time to be learning, to be curious, and to also maybe be developing some communications or a little bit of social energy. That is where our more proactive, assertive side can really be taking place now, and really for the next month plus, while Mars starts to enter into Gemini here. All right, so here's the aspects for the week. Let's go ahead and start here with Monday. So Monday, the moon will be transiting between Libra and Scorpio. So the first part of the day for most of us, maybe some themes around finding balance, reciprocity, fairness, things of this nature. But then as the day unfolds, getting deeper. And this is where the moon will be in Scorpio and Ophiuchus all the way up until about Wednesday. So here, being willing to go into the underworld, the deeper world, excavate things, and maybe do a bit of healing as well. So this is where the first quarter moon is happening, the square between the sun and the moon, the square between Scorpio and Leo. So while focusing on what we love and expressing ourselves, doing so in, of course, a deep way, and maybe even processing some deep things too, because what's the point of doing what we love and expressing ourselves if we can't do it deeply, if we can't do it meaningfully? And so this is an opportunity to get into that deeper world within ourselves primarily in order to incorporate that. And also externally as well, could be good for depth, maybe intimacy, deep diving with others. Could also be really good. So how can we combine that watery, deeper, murkier energy, but where the core is, where the truth is, with that fire, with that self-expression of Leo? But again, anything that you do want to really challenge yourself with to incorporate that started early next week could be an excellent time to really start to do that. And again, starting to notice a lot more things manifesting and being more action-oriented this phase of the lunar month. Now, as we do get to the later part of Wednesday here, the moon will shift into Sagittarius, so we'll come out of that deeper world and go into a much more free-spirited world, probably feeling a little bit more transformed and probably healed as a result of that. So Sagittarius is the free spirit, and that is definitely, I would say, the theme of the week. It's got, again, these two aspects with Jupiter. So this middle part of the week, on around Wednesday, going into Thursday, the sun squaring Jupiter gives us definitely that sense of adventurousness and open-mindedness and, again, free-spiritedness. But in a square, it's good to do it constructively because there can be a bit of a pendulum swing with those squares, over, under extreme, maybe, overly optimistic, overly open-minded, adventurous, whatever. And then because the pendulum swings so far that direction, then not so much the next minute. So good to see how it can be incorporated constructively. So what are some of the things that we can take action towards? Again, it's a great week for action in general that really speak to our spirit, but can be implemented in a way that's still patient, constructive, long-term, maybe bringing in some of that Saturn energy, which always balances out the Jupiter energy, that really helps us build that free-spiritedness. So great to do that kind of stuff here around the Thursday time period. Again, maybe some things manifesting there in regards to some opportunities and stuff that we might need to take action on. As a also kind of more minor notes, around this middle part of the week, Mercury will be sextiling Mars. We may notice a little bit of directness with our communications. Again, maybe socially. It just kind of heightens that Mars in Gemini, with Mercury being the ruler of Gemini. So just maybe heightens a little bit more of that proactive and assertive nature with those communications or learnings or things like that. Really just an opening for that with the sextile just available. Now, as we do get into, so again, Sagittarius for pretty much all the way into Saturday. So all the way through Saturday, or all the way through Friday as well. A bit of this free-spiritedness and expansiveness certainly available, but it continues, of course. So with Venus trining Jupiter here, it might be a little bit easier for that free-spiritedness, and we may notice a little bit more of it coming through maybe in our relationships and with those enjoyments of life. So a little bit of support here. Nice to see these two benefic, these two easier energies in good harmony with one another. So it could be a good weekend for, again, just simply enjoying things and connecting a little bit. Still, of course, can be done constructively even all week, especially because of squares. We do want to make sure things are nice and grounded. And of course, also because the moon will be in Capricorn Saturday and Sunday, so the weekend does place a theme on some perhaps responsibilities, things that need to be taken care of, things that need to be really seen for the long view. So Capricorn, the sea goat, is all about climbing that mountain. It rules things like achievement and accomplishment. And so we do want to incorporate a little bit on the weekend, but again, we'll maybe just notice some of those themes about seeing the long road or taking care of some of those responsibilities. And then we build a little bit more of that momentum as we will have that full moon coming up early next week. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Again, early part of the week, good for manifestation, coming to our first challenges of the lunar month, but really good to challenge ourselves and noticing that a lot of these things from early last week start to become concretized. We've got a lot of aspects with kind of a Sagittarius energy midweek, with the moon in Sag, but also the sun squaring Jupiter. So balancing out some of that free-spiritedness and open-mindedness that the squares can give us that need to be incorporated constructively and healthfully. And this also is over the weekend too, with Venus trine Jupiter, but probably being a little bit easier and maybe a little bit of that harmony in general with our values and relationships. But again, with that long-term view, constructive energy with the moon in Capricorn. And as I said, the sun will start to shift into Virgo. Again, we'll notice this next week, but maybe on Sunday, getting into a little bit more of that improvement and refinement oriented energy. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't yet gotten your True Sidereal report, there's a link down below for that. It's absolutely free. Just type in your birth details and you'll see your sun, moon, and ascendant in True Sidereal format. But again, have a great one, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.